You're in the kitchen for 5 seconds, just 5, and somehow your child is already there. You walk to another room and tiny footsteps follow behind you. You close the bathroom door and little fingers appear underneath it. You sit down for one quiet moment and suddenly they need something. Most parents laugh about it. Why are you following me everywhere? But what if your child isn't just being clingy? What if something much deeper is happening? Something most parents completely miss. Because the truth is, children don't follow their parents for the reasons people think. And once you understand why they do it, you'll never look at those little footsteps the same way again. What seems annoying today may actually be one of the biggest emotional signals your child ever gives you. And the scary part? Many parents accidentally push it away, without realizing what their child was truly asking for. A child doesn't just follow your body, they follow your emotional presence. That changes everything. Think about this. Your child could be surrounded by toys. Cartoons are playing, snacks are nearby. Everything looks fine. But the second you leave the room, they come looking for you. Why? Because children are not built to prioritize entertainment first. They prioritize connection, especially emotional safety. And this starts much earlier than most people realize. A child's nervous system is constantly scanning the environment for one thing. Am I safe here? And to them, safety often looks like you. Your voice, your face, your footsteps, even the sound of you moving around the house. Research from child development experts has shown that a parent's presence actually helps regulate a child's stress levels, not just emotionally, physically, which means when your child follows you everywhere, it's often not manipulation, it's regulation. But here's the part nobody tells you. Sometimes the children who follow the most are the ones who feel the most uncertain inside. Not because you're a bad parent, not because something is wrong, but because children become especially attached when they're trying to stay emotionally connected to the person who makes the world feel predictable. And if life has felt stressful lately, they feel it, even when you think they don't. That argument you had last week, the exhaustion in your voice, the tension in the house, the days you've been distracted. Children notice emotional weather long before they understand language. That's why some kids suddenly become extra clingy during difficult seasons. Not because they're trying to control you, because they're trying to reconnect to stability. And most parents miss this completely. They see behavior, but they don't see the emotion underneath it. Now here's where this gets uncomfortable. Sometimes, the moments when children follow us the most are the exact moments we push them away hardest. You're always on me. Go play by yourself. Why can't you just sit still for 1 minute? Every exhausted parent has felt this, maybe even today. And no, this doesn't make you a bad parent, because parenting is overwhelming, especially when someone needs you every second. But what children hear in those moments can quietly shape something important. Not in one moment. Patterns matter more than moments, but repeated emotional rejection changes the meaning of connection for a child, especially young children. Because eventually, some children stop following, and parents think the problem is solved. But sometimes it isn't. Sometimes the child didn't become independent. Sometimes they became emotionally careful. That's the part that hits hard. A child who stops reaching for connection too early may not be mature. They may simply be learning not to ask anymore. And years later, parents wonder why their teenager stays in their room all day. This might not seem connected right now, but it is. Because the small moments become emotional blueprints. Now this changes everything. Up until now, this has been about behavior. But underneath it, this is actually about attachment. And attachment affects almost everything later in life. How children handle stress, how they trust people, how they deal with conflict, how secure they feel when relationships become difficult. And here's the surprising part. Children who feel emotionally safe with their parents usually become more independent later, not less. That sounds backward, but it's true, because secure children explore the world differently. They don't explore because they're forced away. They explore because they know they can come back. Imagine a toddler at a park. They run away from their parent for a moment, then suddenly look back. Still there? Okay. Good. Then they keep exploring. That tiny glance matters more than most people realize. It's emotional refueling. Children borrow confidence from connection. But here's something most parents never hear. Your child isn't only following you because they love you. Sometimes they're studying you, watching you, learning who they should become, the way you react to stress, the way you speak to yourself, the way you treat other people when you're tired. Children absorb emotional habits silently, and they start incredibly young. You may think they aren't paying attention, but they are, more than anyone else. A child watching you sigh after a hard day learns something about stress. A child watching you comfort someone learns something about compassion. A child watching you constantly criticize yourself learns something dangerous too. And this is where many parents accidentally underestimate their influence. Because children don't always copy our instructions, they copy our emotional patterns. That's why your presence matters so much. Even ordinary moments, the drive to school, folding laundry together, walking through the grocery store. To a child, these moments often feel bigger than we think, because attention is love in a child's world. And when children follow us around, many times they're really asking one silent question: can I stay close to you? Not forever, just long enough to feel secure again. If you're still watching this, you're already paying attention in a way most parents don't. Subscribe, because this is just the surface. Now here's something fascinating. Children don't usually remember most conversations from early childhood, but emotionally, their brain remembers patterns, how home felt, how your presence felt, how they felt around you. That emotional memory lasts much longer than words. And this is why small responses matter more than grand parenting moments. Not perfection, consistency. That's what children actually need. Because some parents believe good parenting means never making mistakes. That's impossible. Children don't need robotic perfection. They need emotional repair. That may be one of the most important things nobody teaches parents. You can lose patience. You can get overwhelmed. You can make mistakes. But when a parent reconnects afterward, something powerful happens. The child learns relationships can survive hard moments. That matters for life. But here's the hard truth. Some parents stay physically close to their children while being emotionally far away. And children feel that too. You can sit in the same room while emotionally disappearing into your phone, stress, exhaustion, or distraction. And over time, children start reacting differently. Some become louder for attention. Some become emotional. Some become difficult. And some become quiet. Very quiet. That silence can fool people. A silent child is not always a secure child. Sometimes silence is emotional resignation. And this is why understanding your child's need for closeness matters so much. Because following you is often communication before children fully know how to explain themselves. Especially young kids. They don't say, "I'm emotionally dysregulated and seeking attachment reassurance." They just stand next to you while you wash dishes. That's their language. And honestly, once you understand this, certain moments become heartbreaking in a different way. Like when a child says, "Watch this" for the 20th time. It seems small, but underneath it is something enormous. Do I matter to you right now? That's what many children are really asking. Not with words, with behavior. And this is the signature moment many parents remember years later. The times they thought their child was interrupting them, when their child was actually reaching for connection. One day, those interruptions stop. The random stories stop. The tiny footsteps stop. The constant "Mom, Dad, look, watch this." It fades slowly. And many parents don't realize how precious it was until it's already gone. But here's the reassuring part. You do not need to become a perfect parent after hearing this. That's not the goal. The goal is awareness. Tiny shifts change relationships. Looking up when your child speaks. Letting them stand beside you instead of always sending them away. Giving 30 real seconds of attention instead of distracted half attention for 10 minutes. Small moments, big emotional impact. And no, this doesn't mean children should never learn independence. They absolutely should. But healthy independence grows from connection first, not emotional distance. That's the difference most people miss. A child who feels emotionally safe eventually stops following you everywhere naturally. Not because they stopped needing love, because love gave them enough security to explore on their own. That's what real emotional safety does. It creates confidence quietly. And maybe the most important thing to remember is this. One day, your child will stop following you room to room. There will be a final time they reach for your hand without thinking. A final time they ask you to watch them. A final time tiny footsteps chase yours down the hallway. You won't know it's the last time when it happens. And that's why these moments matter. Not because children stay small forever, but because the way they feel beside you now becomes part of who they are later. Your child may not remember every word you said, but deep inside, they will remember something even more important: whether being close to you felt safe,